So GDPR has some fairly strict rules on managing that data, or in effect, you're sharing that data. So you're the event organizer. You're sharing that data with all those tools I mentioned. Yeah. Plus also third-party tools, other tools as well. For example, you use the sourcing process to find a hotel or a venue, and you may then create a rooming list, which you then share with the hotel. Or it might be an event where you're organizing transfers from, say, the hotel to the airport and vice versa. So you may have to share a passenger list with a transfer company or a DMC if it's in a remote location. Okay, as I mentioned before, you are accountable for that data. And what GDPR says is that within GDPR, all companies are classified as one of two types. And again, apologies for the jargon, but there's no way of getting around this. According to the GDPR, you are either a data controller or a data processor. For you, the event organizers, who are hopefully watching this demonstration, you are more than likely data controllers. And all those technology systems and platforms that we saw on the previous screen, they are more than likely data processors. Okay, the definitions are quite slim, so sometimes it can be a bit difficult to work out which is a processor, which is a controller, or in some cases, you have something called joint controllers, but I don't want to get too technical and leave it at the high level for the moment. So basically GDPR, it says that all parties within this life cycle, so in an event, you might share your data with many different suppliers, as we've already seen, and many more I haven't even mentioned. There might be a team building company, there might be a catering company with whom you have to share dietary requirements. Yeah. So with all those companies, you need to have contracts in place. Yeah. And the contracts have to have certain information. And I'm just going to walk through a contract in a minute. Before I do that, I just want to point out that GDPR also introduces the concept of shared liability. So all those big fines we've heard about, yeah. So if something goes wrong, in other words, you're the event organizer and your data is stolen or breached or hacked, then you are liable because you're accountable, but potentially so is those partners with whom you share or hold that data. So those big fines that we've all heard about, they could be split. So that's why it's very important that all the companies that you work with are GDPR compliant. And the way of ensuring that is to have contracts in place.